to the Just Stop Oil protesters, or frankly, should we be ignoring them? Dr. Graham Buss is a Just Stop Oil spokesperson and former principal scientist at Shell, and Howard Cox, the founder of Fair Fuel UK and friend of the show. Graham, can I start with you, please? Just start us off. What is the ultimate objective of Just Stop Oil?
Darren, I think I'm here to irritate you some more. Let me tell you who I am first, a little bit more. I worked for Shell for 33 years. I was a scientist and engineer. And I worked with the former chairman of Shell, Ron Oxborough, who was also a chief scientist.
Well, Graham, can I just thank you for the work you did
climate
with Shell?
crisis is real, and he said so.
Well, thank you for the work that you did with Shell, because frankly, you've kept homes powered, you've given us everyday products, you've ensured that Britain could function. What a miracle oil is.
I came on this show because I was asked a question that you sent me, Darren. How best is the country to tackle climate change together while putting an end to civil disobedience? That's why I'm here.
Yeah, so how?
You asked that question, how to tackle climate change.
Tell me.
Let me tell you, oil and gas in the North Sea doesn't make us secure. It doesn't keep the cost of living down, and ask yourself, why no windfall tax on the oil companies? Yeah? The government doesn't care about ordinary people, about just their rich mates. You know, we don't own it, they do. We just pay for it.
So, Graham, do you think the way that you're going about this, though, is the best possible way to communicate your message?
Yes. Look, I agree with Howard. We're in a fuel crisis at the moment. Just Stop Oil don't want that either. We care about the price of energy for the less well-off. The cost of living crisis is a war on the poor, and it should end. And it's the government's fault.
Howard, then, shouldn't you just get out your car, get on your bike and get with the Just Stop Oil programme?
Well, the answer to that is a big fat no, Darren, and thank you and happy Easter, my friend. One of the things we should be looking at here is actually that every single driver in this country and everyone who actually uses oil actually wants to breathe clean air and wants clean energy. All those things. And what is sad about this is this protest is senseless. And people, you are alienating everyone else that you need to get on your side. That is the issue. I'd love to sit down and have a debate with you. I've been on so many media programmes in the last 2 weeks about this issue, and I've asked everyone I've been up against or talking to, including the BBC, and I was up against Nicky Campbell, who laid into me, calling me a climate change denier. I am not. I'm a climate change realist. What we need to do is sit round the table and work together and find a better way for cleaner fuels. But at the moment, in this cost of living crisis, which you highlighted, and thank you for that, I really appreciate that, and I congratulate you for saying that, we need to work together to find a better way future. We can't do it overnight, and we can't do it by gluing ourselves to tankers, especially if they only take cooking oil.
Graham, do you agree with what Howard said there, right? The message might be right, but the tactics are just turning people off.
I don't believe that for one moment. The climate crisis is now. It's just as real as the cost of living crisis. And that's why Just Stop Oil is making this very simple demand. No new oil and gas licenses in the UK. It's very simple.
Well, Graham, can I ask you a question then? If you genuinely believe, right, which you purport to do so, and I don't doubt your sincerity for 1 second, but if you genuinely believe that the world could end,
mate.
the world could end. Well, let me finish. Let me finish. Come on, I let you finish. You can let me finish. If you genuinely believe that the world could end in a ball of flames, or indeed we could all drown to death, why would you spend your last days on Earth gluing your bottom to a road if the world is going to hell in a handcart?
Look, the cost of living crisis is serious, but just you wait till the climate crisis really hits. That's why we're doing this.
But you haven't
It'll hit your family like a war. It'll hit your family like a war and take everything away that matters to you.
I tell you what is hitting families up and down the country is you lot blocking roads, stopping working people from being able to get to and from work and, frankly, exacerbating the cost of living crisis, Graham.
Look, Darren, you want to know how to bring the country together? GBNews needs to tell the truth about the climate crisis. The best thing you could do is tell your audience...
This is your moment. This is your moment, Graham. You've got your moment here. GBNews are giving you that platform. Come on, make the case.
I'm not going to talk on a show with a climate denier. Thank you for having me on here, and I'm off now. Bye.
Well, Howard, that was quite extraordinary, Howard. What do you make of all of that, Howard? What do you think about being called a climate denier? Because we were saying there, please do make your case. Why, if the world was about to end, would you be gluing your bottom to a road? What you would surely be saying, right, OK, I'm going to be more hedonistic than I've ever been for the rest of my life. There is no denial of climate. I accept that we might be having an impact. But what you're saying, Howard, what you said earlier in your remarks there was that until we get the technology, until we're able to make the transition, that now is not the time, Howard.
Oh, I couldn't have put it any better, Darren. You got it spot on. I mean, there is no climate emergency. There is a climate computer modelling emergency. And what we're seeing at the moment is there is climate change. There's no doubt about it. Things are happening, and we do contribute a bit about it, but not as much as, certainly not as much as India, Brazil, USA, China. They're responsible for 50% of emissions. We're responsible for 1% of emissions. And I always say to every one of those protesters who I admire their passion, I always say to them, why are you not going over to those countries and actually protesting about what they're doing with their emissions? We do need to bring emissions down. I'm all for emissions coming down, but you don't do it by inconveniencing people. One particular person called me who drives an ambulance. He couldn't get diesel for his ambulance. He couldn't take people to a hospital. He had to get another person to come in a long distance. It took an hour to come along. They couldn't do it. That's a little thing, but I've got hundreds of those incidences. I've got thousands of emails of people angry, and they're not getting people on their side. But let me say this on this air now, Darren, please, all of you climate protesters, let's sit together and talk about the best way forward, working together rather than inconveniencing people.
Absolutely. And Howard, that's what I wanted to do today. That's what I wanted to have a genuine conversation, and hopefully we will later in the show as well. But I want a genuine conversation where we say, look, we agree with the ultimate ambition, which is to actually reduce our carbon emissions and actually have cleaner air. Who wouldn't want that? But what I do say is that the democracy denial, the riding roughshod over civil liberties and laws, and that isn't the good way to go about it, because that's turning people off, Howard. That's all I was trying to say.
Well, you said it very nicely, Darren. And yes, if they want to call us deniers, let them call us deniers. But if I always throw back at them, do you think man can really make a difference? And now, can we turn back the clock? Because it goes back for years and years and decades and millennia that we've had global warming in different sort of personalities, up and down. We're in a situation now where it's gone up a little bit now. It's going to go down again. We are not going to. Do you remember the ozone layer warnings?
Oh,
all those sort of things. I'm nearly 70 years of age, Darren. Yeah. And those ozone warnings, that was the end of the planet. Where have they gone? The ozone hole is closed.
Are you hearing from your members that actually there's a frustration with the fact that it seems that unless you're championing woke causes, such as environmentalism, that you can get away with blocking roads and causing menace for people and actually blocking the transportation of vital fuel sources?
I am hearing that. We've got their supporters are not members, Darren, I'm afraid. They don't pay me any money. I wish they did, because we've got 1.7 million of them. No, what we're getting from them, they're getting very angry because they're being almost accused on block as though they're being deniers. They believe, like we said before, they want cleaner air. They want their children to grow up in a nice, safe, clean environmental condition. They all want that. But they do not want to be inconvenienced, and they can't get to work, they can't get to college, they can't get to hospitals, all those sorts of things. And they are thoroughly, thoroughly fed up. And the government can stop this right now. And that's one, I never thought I'd say this on here. I actually agree with Keir Starmer. We need injunctions on them. Get them off the road.
Yeah, well, I never thought you'd be championing law and order with the Labour Party, but there we are, Howard Cox, the founder of Fair Fuel UK. Thank you very much. We'll